What is correct, and everyone? This is Reynolds coming back at you with some Honkai Star Rail, and today we are going to be talking about Quantum and how they got out in relation to the meta. But before we do that, I would like to invite you to please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll get right into it. So, alphabetically, we're going to be talking about Archer first. I mean, he was free. And, pretty simple. If it's a single target boss, and you have the option of Sparkle, Archer's just the best single target character in the game. Kinda not really an argument. I mean, I guess you could talk about Fei Xiao, but just in terms of having a free carry and just happening to have Sparkle for whatever reason just makes him really good. There's also the fact that when he did run initially, you had the option to get Sparkle, so there was enough time for you to figure out, or just, you know, go online and figure it out that Sparkle was a really good option for him. As you invest into him, he just gets stronger and stronger. I mean, obviously, right? But I want to get him to E2 before he leaves. We'll see if that happens. I would love to. When he gets to E1, he uses skill 3 times, because I mean, kind of what he is you save up SP and then you just burn all of it during one turn, and then you just keep saving it, and then you burn it the next time, save it until you get to a good point, burn it. E1 just lets you get a free skill basically. So if you use it 3 times, so you use 6 skill points, and then you get a 4th skill for free. Pretty good. Another thing that he does with Sparkle is he lets the skill points have a higher limit. So you're gonna have enough skill points to do this, generally speaking, especially if you have Sparkle. And then Sparkle regenerates skill points, which lets you use them with Archer again. You know, that's basically the loop. So the fact that you can just get a 4th skill for free with this E1, I think that's pretty freaking good, you know? Especially with how hard he hits. He hits quite hard, you know? And this is another thing about him being really good. If you get him to E2, which is our plan, hopefully we can do it. When he uses his ult, he reduces the enemy's quantum resistance by 20%, which, you know, if that means... So basically, if they were not quantum weak, they're probably going to have 20% resistance to the element, since they're not weak to it. This lets him deal normal damage as if they were quantum weak. But guess what? Since he's E2, in this case, he will make them quantum weak for 2 turns. So then one thing you can do is you can save your skill points until he gets his ult. Maybe not the first rotation, but like the second rotation, where you get a bunch of skill points back with Sparkle or whatever. This can just result in so much damage because he makes them quantum weak. On top of the quantum res, I believe that works does that work as defense shred? Let me know in the comments. I don't know if the quantum res and the weakness makes it so it's kind of like defense shred or not. You guys let me know. Regardless, he inflicts quantum weakness on his E2. That's busted, dude. Really good. So best single target in the game currently. I don't know when he's gonna get dethroned. I hope it's not anytime soon, because you know, I kind of want to get him up to E2, but even then, if we get him to E2 before he leaves, he's gonna be a single target character for, like, I don't know about ever, but it's gonna be for a long time, and he's not gonna be treating you bad. He's gonna be treating you very well. Next we have one of my favorites, Miss Castoris. I mean, again, you invest in your premium team. Yes, I understand it technically does cost a lot of pulls to do so. However, if you started pulling for this as it came out, her team, you should have had 2 or 3 characters set up, you know? Especially consider, because the fact that you can have RMC, right? So you had RMC, you had Castoris for, you know, let's say you pulled her. You have them 2. And then Hyacinth came out, and you should have had enough time to save for her. I mean, if you didn't, that's, I mean, whatever, right? You could have got her during this patch, right? So that would have been another way, but... And then even if you don't get Cyrene, bro, you got Evernight as an option if you picked her up as well. So like you had, honestly, if you were not like me and you started before 3.4, you had plenty of time to get this team set up. So, you know, obviously this team does want a lot of light cones. So like Castoris wants her cone, Evernight wants her cone, RMC, you could give her pretty much whatever and it'll work out well enough for you. Cyrene kind of wants her cone, but you can make it work with the simulated universe one. So I understand there's a lot of 5-star characters in this one, and there's some cones that are required, but if you liked the character and you pulled her early on, you should have had enough time to pick up everybody. Even if you don't, I mean, let's say you're missing like Evernight like I am. You just rock RMC, Castoris is doing fine, bro. Like, even I was running through what was it called? It was either Divergent Universe or one of the earlier swarm modes for Simulated Universe, and then, dude, Castoris was cleaning up house. I know she's a modern unit and everything, but my RMC was literally, she had no relics on her. I mean, she does now. She has, you know, they're on her. She literally had no relics equipped, and we were clearing it with ease. Yes, we had her in Hyacine and I think Cyrene, but Cyrene wasn't built that much at that point anyway. So like the fact that we were able to pull that off, to me, is freaking crazy. But yeah, I mean, I get it. She does want a lot of characters for the team, right? Because you want Castoris herself, you want Hyacine. However, technically you can make Luocha or Gallagher work. They're not as optimal, but you can make them work. So there are free-to-play options for this team. It's just not optimal. However, you should have had time to pull for this if you adopted her early enough. Obviously, you have Evernight, Irene, so, you know, there was enough time for you guys to prepare if you started at the 3.0 or whenever she came out. There's enough time to set up this team. And she's, you know, if you have the team, the premium team, it's just straight up the best team in the game right now. Even if you don't, you have the team, the version that we have with Castoris, Hyacine, Cyrene, and not almost at LZ, RMC, team is still really freaking strong. Losing out on the Evernight does hurt a little bit, but like, it's RMC. That's not really going to be the biggest deal ever, you know? You'll clear. You will clear. Okay, next we are talking about Cypher. I mean, she's mostly a side grade character, but guess what? She's mostly a side grade to Tribby, and you know what that does if you pull Cypher, right? That lets you put Cypher on that one team as a debuffer, and then you put Tribby on the other team. Guess what? You just have 2 top tier supports on your teams now, because you pulled Cypher, you know? Obviously Tribby's technically a little better, but Cypher's a side grade to the best support in the game. Are we gonna say that's bad? I don't think so, you know? I wish I could have pulled her this time around, but sadly, Super Break's coming back. I gotta invest in that. So we'll be pulling for her next time, though. I love me and my cat women, so we'll be pulling for her next time. But side grade to the best support in the game. I mean, by association, that kind of makes her crazy, no? I feel like it does. Then we talk about Fu Shuin. At this point in the game, honestly, I kind of feel like if you're using her, you probably have a few idle lands on her. She's also a 50-50 lost character, so, you know, if you're using her, you probably have a few of those. We don't have her, obviously, so I can't speak to my own use of her because we don't have her, but I think she gets the job done. Especially if you have a few eidolons for her, you know, which completely possible. Especially because it seems like she does, well, she buffs crit damage here. That's quite useful, you know. That's her E6. It keeps a tally. I mean, you know, she's sustain and she's technically free now, so she's better than she's better than Japar. I think Fu Shuin's in a similar situation to like maybe Huohuo, where they're both very like competent, but there's better characters than them to use. But you're gonna be in good hands if you use them anyway, because they're good characters. But I think you might need a few copies of Fu Shuin to make her work better. I don't know if she's able to do endgame at E0. Maybe she is. I don't know. We don't have her right now. I'd be down to build her at some point though, so we could figure that out. But I mean, I think she'll do you fine. Miss Jade is next, so unfortunately, if you have Madame Herda, and actually it's just the better option. It's just kind of that way. Yeah, maybe if it's Quantum Week, you could use Jade instead, but it has to be Quantum on Ice Week. That's not always the case. Even if it is the case, guess who you can't stop with weaknesses? Anaxa. So he's just gonna be better. He's just straight up better. However, if you have Jade and you have Madame Herta, this is a good team to use, you know? You're not gonna be struggling, I don't feel. I would love to pull her. I don't know if we're going to, though, because Anaxa is just straight up better. And it's also the case where, like, you know, Anaxa is just better. I don't know if there's much reason. Also, it's like she's technically a downgrade to Anaxa as well. I mean, she came out before Anaxa, obviously, so it makes sense, but Jade is just not as worth it anymore. But again, if you don't have her Anaxa, rather, you can rock Jade on your Herta team and you'll be doing yourself quite well. She's not bad, she's pretty good. It's just the fact that Anaxa's head and shoulders above her, so she's not as relevant anymore, you know? But like a lot of things in this game, just because the character gets power crept by another character does not mean that character is bad. That simply means that there is a better character that is out than the other one. So Anaxa is better than Jade, but that doesn't mean that Jade's bad. That just means that Anaxa is amazing. If you can still win with Jade, you know, and you absolutely can. That does not make her bad. You still won. Especially if you can zero cycle with her. I'm pretty sure you can still, so yeah, no, she's far from bad. It's just the fact that Anaxa is better. Next we got to talk about Miss Lynx. I mean, free-to-play option for healers. I mean, she's there. She can... I believe she does a cleanse on her skill. Is it her talent then? Where is it? Oh, I think it's her ult, actually. Yeah, so the ult is her cleanse. So if you need a cleanse pretty badly and you don't have any other options, Lynx is a good one. However, if you have... Which Eidolon is it? If you have E2 Gallagher, then she doesn't become as useful anymore because he simply just removes a debuff from a selected ally. That said, I want to say Lynx is party-based since it's her ult and it's a healing ult. Yeah, it's all allies, so do keep that in mind. If you need full team cleansing, you can use her. But unless you really need healing, I'm not sure I see a reason for you to pick Lynx because guess who else has a cleanse to the full party? It's Dan Hong, and it's during his Soul Dragon. Is it talent? Where is it then? Let's see. Be throwing ults. Basically, every time Soul Dragon acts, it'll cleanse the entire party. I want to say it's just one debuff though, but I mean, it's a free 5-star option. He's gonna be better than Lynx. So if you need that cleanse for your party, you might as well use Dan Hong, unless for some reason you really need it to be a healer, in which case, okay, maybe you can use her for the full party cleanse, but you might as well just use Gallagher, you know? Or Dan Hong. Ching Chui is next. I mean, she's a fun character. I can see myself building her at some point for the funnies, especially because 3.8 is going to be quite dead, it seems. I'm okay with that though, because I'm not caught up in the story. Like I said, I started in 3.4 and I like playing multiple games at the same time, so Star Rail, we're not caught up yet with the story, but she seems fun. I'd be down to build her. She's kind of the thing where it's like a gacha character, where so if you're playing gacha within your gacha game, kind of funny. I believe the way she plays is you just spam her skill until you get 4 of the matching tiles, and then once you do, you get to do an enhanced basic attack, I believe, and then you get to, you know, yeah, that's how she rolls. So you spam the skill until you get what you need with the 4, then you throw the freaking tile, does the damage, repeat it, do it over and over and over and over. Pretty fun though, because the, you know, the randomness. She might be one. I don't know if she's necessarily good in endgame, but like she's fun. I think you can find use for her. She's one of the few ones where I think you can actually make them work as a carry. Is it optimal? Are you gonna get 0 cycles? Probably not, but you know, you can try. Maybe she has enough in her to do that. Next is my baby Sela, and man, is this an unfortunate character. She is one of my favorite characters. She was the first limited character in this game, I believe, and oh, how far has she fallen, man. We got her. We have a copy of her. I just, as much as I want to build her, dude, she has not been treated well by this game. I mean, I know she's the first limited character in this game ever, but holy moly, has she not been treated well by time, dude. She's just, as if it was bad enough. It's not even like a close power creep by Archer. It's like a freaking complete power creep. She cannot, to my knowledge, hit the same numbers that he can. And he does it easier because you just get Sparkle and then he's just chilling, you know? Really unfortunate. Hopefully they buff her like a lot. I would love to see her come back to relevance so I can, you know, build her. Because as it stands right now, I'm not sure I want to build her until we have her at E6. And then we'll try to make her work out. Or maybe E2. I don't want to work her at E0 though. I think that's going to be a pain. Unless we want to do some challenge runs with her, which, you know what? Maybe we will. But as it stands right now, it's kind of not in a good spot. She really needs buffs. I'm surprised she didn't. She honestly, she probably should have been the first character in this game as a limited character to get a buff. I don't know why they picked the other characters. I'm glad they buffed everyone they buffed. They were good picks for my particular likes for the characters, right? But I mean, if we're talking about characters that need buffs, bro, Sela should have got it first and foremost, but she just didn't. I don't know what that's about. But speaking of the buff characters, we have Silverwolf next. I mean, I spec'd into her. We're using her in our Saber team right now. The Saber team is, okay, well, I guess I just gotta, let me just make it inside here first, hold on. So the Saber team is, where is, there one, and then Don Hong, yeah. This is our Saber team. We're using Silverwolf in there. Normally I have her in this slot though. But this is our Saber team, and it's managed to make us clear everything with 0 cycle, if not 0 cycle, very close to so far. Especially because, I mean, that's another thing, these relics are not like these 3 relics, I'm gonna tell you right now, they are not impressive, and they've been able to take us a long way. So in my book, Silverwolf is quite good, especially post buff, you know. She's quite good. Is she the best ever? No, but I mean, she's E0 using a free-to-play cone, 0 Eidolons, mediocre relics at best, and she's working pretty well for us. She also, I mean, she doesn't even, that's another thing about the relics on her, she doesn't even have an energy regen rope like she wants, and she's doing us this well, you know? Like, pretty much what happens, once she gets her ult, and then Saber gets her ult, Silverwolf ults first, and then Artoria, and then the enemy is just blown to smithereens, and then it's the next phase. If not, they just die. I know it's because our Saber is very strong, but I mean, this is just what's happened, you know? I think Silverwolf got out really well. Seriously, she got out quite well. She's not as good as Cypher, but I mean, are we gonna complain about a 1 point whatever character, a version 1 character being this good? No, I don't think so. Next, we got the little cutie Sparkle. And where is she? Right here. One of my favorite characters personally. I like her little gremlin energy. I mean, she's not the best ever. She could use, for some reason, I don't know why they did this, she's the only character in this game that has action advance that's not 100%. I'm not sure what that's about. It's 50% action advance. I don't understand that. Why is it not 100%? She's the only character that has action advance that is not 100%. They need to change that. Hopefully the Sparkle buffs, that is something that they buff and they make it 100% plus whatever else it is, you know? Another nice thing about Sparkle is this trace right here. Buffs all the allies' attack, and then depending on how many quantum allies are on the team, it increases their attack by, you know, either 5% with an ally or 15 with 2 allies, 30 with 3 allies. So if you have a, I mean, if you're rocking the archer team optimally, right? Let's just build it real quick. If you're rocking it optimally, you're gonna probably be doing something like, well, we need a quantum healer, which would be Ushuin. I mean, not a healer at this point, but sustain. Wherever she is. Oh yeah, we don't have her. So just imagine in Dan Hong's slot, imagine that Ushuin is there. And then we will put Sparkle right here. And then Mr. Archer. So if you're rocking the team like this, and then, you know, again, this is Fushuin, keep that in mind. This is Fushuin. We don't have her, so I can't put her on the team. But imagine she's in that slot. We have, not only is if the enemy is quantum, no, you know what? It doesn't even matter. Because if it's a single target fight, she's going to infuse quantum. And that means that every single character here is going to be able to do toughness damage. So on top of that, Sparkle's going to buff the entire team's attack, so it's just going to be even more and more. And obviously you can replace Silverwolf with Cypher here. That'd probably be better. So like him, Cypher, Sparkle, and then Fushuin. Even if you don't have Fushuin as this slot, like, dude, this is a strong team, bro. Especially with the debuffs going on, like, you're in good hands. I'm sure there's probably sustainless runs you can rock with Archer as well. I think you should be able to. He seems like he's got the power for that, but, you know, even with that quantum team, you're going to be in a good spot. There's also the fact that you can run Tribby and Silverwolf slot as well. Like, dude, the quantum team has a lot of options, man. There's a lot of options. Because, again, you can rock Archer, and then for the supports, you can rock Cypher. I don't know if Jade works quite as well, but you can rock Cypher, you can rock Silverwolf, and then Sparkle you can rock in, you know, you kind of need Sparkle to an extent. You can also rock Tribby in that second slot as well. Like, there's a lot of options you can pick up for this team, dude. Pretty strong, honestly. Then, wherever the Tribster is. Yeah. You rock Tribster there. So, I mean, second to last we're going to be talking about is Tribby. Wherever they are. Man, oh yeah, I put him on the team. Duh. You know how I was talking about the best support in the game and Cypher being a side grade to her, right? Well, you know, she's the best support in the game, so you got a lot of options. You can use her with this Madame Herta team that we're probably going to put her in as her main slot in. Probably do that. You could use her with Casteris as well, obviously. Like, I mean, but this is just a recommended teams, dude. If you want to talk about DPSs, bro, you could, I mean, I think she's probably the most universal support in this game so far. You can use her on Saber's team. You could use, I don't know if you could use her on Firefly really, because it's a specialized team. You could probably use her with Blade, use her with Finon. I don't know if you could use her with Dan Hong. You could probably use her with Jingliu. You could use her with Maide. You could use her with Fei Xiao. You could use her with Archer. You could use her with Madame Herta. You could use her with Anaxa. Like, I don't know if I need to mention much more. But you guys can see there's just so many teams that you can use her on, man. It's crazy. So in the vein of that, like, she's just amazing. Like, there's not really a situation that you're gonna see where she's not going to be, if not shit up best in slot, like a really, really, really good option. Unless we have Zhui Yi, whenever I can find her. I think I have her favorited because I don't plan to build her. Yeah. She's interesting because she's like a hybrid character. I believe she can be super break and crit based, and I forget if there's one more little sub thing that we can do for her, like as a archetype. I want to say it's super break, and then she could be crit as well. I think that's what it is. I think that's mainly what she wants to do. She's interesting. I think she actually probably could clear because she has those interesting niches for herself, right? Yeah, see, here's like some of the reason why she's good with Super Break, right? More damage for her ult. And they have a certain amount of toughness. So, she's interesting. I think she's probably one of the better 4-star carries because of her niches. Is she the best though? Probably not. But I think in Quantum Weak situations, you can probably find ways for her to be useful. I mean, you know, she's in the unfortunate situation where she is a carry who is a 4-star. Unfortunately, they have not been treated that well by time. But I think you can make her work if you're down bad enough, or if you just want to challenge yourself. I think you can make her work out. I don't know about zero cycling, but I'm sure you can make her work. She has enough going on. I think that you could, you know. But that will have to do it today for every character. In terms of meta-relevant DPSs, we got kind of Archer. As much as I wasn't sure about picking single targets, I mean, Archer is just so good to the point where whenever we get another single target boss, it's just, you know, he's gonna clean house, let's be real. So you got Archer for 1, Castries for 2. Yeah, that's the thing. There's 2 meta-relevant DPSs, but then there's characters like Cypher and Silverwolf and Tribby that are just really good as supports, so whether or not you want to count them is up to you. I'll opt to not do so, but like you could have an argument to put Tribby in that for 3 meta-relevant DPSs, or, you know, slots, but Tribby herself is so good. I'm gonna say no because she is technically replaceable. Technically she is. Is she optimal being replaced? No. But you don't technically need her. You can rock everything that you can rock without her being on the team. However, how can you hate that little face? Just pick up a copy. You ain't gonna be in a bad spot, you know? Yeah. Quantum's got a lot of really good characters. I'm like surprised. I think Quantum like maybe not the DPS side, but the support side, bro. On the support side, Quantum is ridiculous, man. Anywho, that's all I have to share today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and we will be back with some more content very soon. And I will see you all in the next video. Laters.